you think like, okay, a 401k, you think, okay, I get a tax benefit from that, right? Like when I put my money into my 401k, I don't get taxed on that. So I think of like this great tax benefit.
Okay, today on the podcast, it's just the OGs. We started this podcast trying to focus on real estate, but as we do, we tangented to business and other things. So it was fun. We talk about the power of real estate, also some really good tips at the end for entrepreneurs.
For sure. You know, if you're thinking about whether you should invest in a 401k or real estate, this might be a good podcast. Sorry about all the tangents, but I think it was really good.
Hint, it's not a 401k. Spoiler alert.
For sure.
It's real estate.
Hope you guys enjoy.
This episode is brought to you by Big Storage Ventures. We are now inviting you to team up and partner alongside us. We bring our experience hunting storage deals and maximizing the self-storage asset to provide our partners with cash flow, tax benefits, and appreciation, all in one recession-resistant asset. Leverage our sister company, Big Ben's Moving Service, to fill your facility and give you an edge over the competition. Reach out to bigstorageventures@gmail.com or DM Big Storage Ventures on Instagram to team up. What I want to hear is, why are we so obsessed with real estate? Like, what are the real estate hacks, both what that make it a better investment than other things, and then what are the things that we have found within real estate that help us have an advantage when we're investing?
Well, I'll start and I'll share kind of like my end and my side. So one thing that I love about real estate, it is so powerful, is that the tax code in the United States heavily supports real estate. So there is a lot that you can do in real estate for your personal income taxes, for your personal taxes, that you really can't get in any other area. If you think, like we were talking about this with an investor today, a partner today, a 401k, you defer your income.
Boo.
Where you think like, okay, a 401k, you think, okay, I get a tax benefit from that, right? Like when I put my money into my 401k, I don't get taxed on that. So I think of like this great tax benefit, but you're just delaying it for the future. You're either saying, hey, I'm going to put my money and I'm going to get taxed. I won't get taxed now and I'll get taxed later, or hey, I'll get taxed now and I won't get taxed later. But either way, you're going to get taxed on that money from a 401k.
Ew.
And it's tough when you think like, oh, I'm going to take my tax cut today, because you better be planning on taxes being, way like cheaper in the future, because I just took a tax cut today. It's like, I better take this today because taxes are going to be cheaper in the future when I end up taxing that money. Real estate is so much different. Like you have an opportunity, a chance to not pay taxes because you're investing in real estate.
Yeah.
And that, like, understanding how to do that and that strategy, it's like that is extremely powerful. If you want to know, reach out. But it's like, I love that about real estate. The other is not only with that, it's like, okay, I can save a ton of money on taxes. If you know the strategies, I can save a ton of money on taxes, and then I can just build wealth. Like it's a tangible asset. Like it's has reoccurring, like good reoccurring revenue every single month, and the appreciation on the other end. And it's like yours. It feels just different.
It's powerful stuff, man. I mean, specifically commercial real estate. Like I'm glad that you highlighted just the tax benefits of being a real estate professional. But, I was on a podcast yesterday, and the hosts were like, challenging me a little bit, like, why is commercial so much better than residential? Like, there's a lot more risk. I was like, yeah, there is more risk, but once you have the fundamentals down, if you're underwriting the deal and you have experience or experienced partners, there really is proportionate risk. But if you understand how to underwrite with some cushion, you really have so much more upside with no risk. right? Or little risk. So, and a good example is like with commercial real estate, you can have property management and partners built in the deal and still have better returns than your residential real estate where you were managing it yourself, right? Obviously, any deal can be good or bad. Any asset can be good or bad depending on the price you lock it in at, right? But I just know for me personally, like investing $100,000 into a residential house, cash flowing $1,000 a month, and then pulling out another 100,000 in a couple of years is way different than investing 300,000 into a commercial real estate, cash flowing 10 grand a month, and then pulling out 7 figures in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much more powerful. And so I think it's why we're so passionate about getting people into commercial real estate as soon as possible. It's why I'm pretty, I don't want to say never, but I'm pretty against a 401k or a Roth IRA because I would rather give my team access to storage deals that they might never have access to otherwise that will outperform any IRA or 401k.
Sure.
And they could contribute just a little bit the first time and be less than 1%, but then it'll snowball for them. Someday, they're getting 5, 10, 15, 20% of these deals, right? From an executive level. So that's one thing I really love about it. I also love the world of seller financing that we've been learning about. All of these levers you can pull to make, you're not the only one who cares about taxes. You can make sellers that care about taxes understand as well. Like, hey, you might not want to sell because of the tax burden, but honestly, there's the other burden, which is the work. And if we set up seller financing, we can help them avoid all the tax, but still get all the money and more maybe than they could with a cash deal.
Yeah, I love that. It's great when you can avoid using a bank. And
oh yeah,
and I mean, I just think of a deal that we did. We took a storage facility that I'll just make up these numbers. Let's just say the storage facility was grossing $20,000 a month, and we gave them a seller financing deal and paid them $35,000 a month in debt payments. Right, so it's like that is huge. You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
like think about this. You didn't have to. You're grossing $20,000 a month in this storage facility, and then you're paying your taxes, you're paying all these things, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we can come in and say, all right, carry a note for us. We'll pay you $35,000 a month, and you don't have to do any work. You don't have to worry about it. You just ride off into the sunset. And it's like, it can be a really great win-win. And then it's like, we don't have to worry about a bank, and we can get a better interest rate, or like, if there's just advantages, there's win-wins on both sides. I love that. When you say commercial real estate, what I'm afraid of is, what if, like, are people thinking like offices? Because there's been like commercial office spaces
good point.
That have been in.
I should clarify.
Please.
Well, when I say commercial real estate broadly, I'm not trying to diss on anyone who does residential homes, because you can run a lot of these things like a business. I'm talking about the old way of doing real estate where you're just getting a house, 12-month lease, and maybe making $100 or a couple $100 a month, right? There's still some equity in that. It's not a big deal. Like, go for it. But if you're running an Airbnb business or a tiny home resort, or if you're doing, even frat houses are more commercial if you're building out processes and systems. That's part one of when I refer to commercial real estate. I'm referring to running real estate like a business. So it's more like how you structure it than what the actual asset or business is. Part two is, I'm referring to storage and industrial. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like these things that are in high demand, they're counter-cyclical, they survive recessions, right? Office is dying, right? So we're coming up with like in our storage facilities, we have these more affordable economic offices, because the old way of just having the most expensive office on Main Street those days are over. Like Amazon and the internet and COVID like wiped all that out. So I guess, retail, we don't know much about. It's higher risk, higher reward. Big box stores I would stay away from because of, Amazon. And then offices I would stay away from because of Zoom, right? So it's like you really need some sort of space that a business can actually use, not an office, not a retail.
Yeah. Like what's Amazon using now? Massive distribution, warehouse, storage facilities to be able to keep their inventory and send out. So no, I'm glad you made that clarification.
Yeah,
I think
thanks for catching that.
I think that's important just because for anyone that's like, well, you could probably argue like commercial real estate. I mean, what we're doing is different. If you get very particular,
a lot of people think commercial real estate's about to take a dive. Like a lot of people think commercial real estate's about to blow up and in a bad way.
Yeah, they're talking about certain like debt coming due.
Debt's coming due, and obviously even a storage facility can get upside down. Like, in fact, we're seeing a lot of storage facilities get upside down. Yeah. I'm talking about fundamental investing the right way. I mean, yeah, you can be commercial real estate. Now you can do it wrong, and you can if you're leaning on yourself or past markets and you're not leaning on the actual asset, yeah, you can get upside down even on storage.
For sure. But going back, I totally agree with if you can offer an opportunity to be in a storage deal versus like a 401k, I mean, it's just, that is night and day better. I mean, I was your typical conservative money person, like accountant type of path. And it's like Dave Ramsey, 401k, Roth IRA.
Boo Dave Ramsey.
Like max out your Roth IRA and then max out this and then max out that. And it's like save up your money and put it into these. And like, I was like that person and would have just never done anything like that. And I'm just like, I've seen the other side. Like I've seen potentially the winning side. It's like I dumped all of my retirement accounts gone. They're all in commercial real estate now.
And I mean, I took my in-laws I'm so confident in commercial real estate. I took my in-laws retirement and put it in commercial real estate. And I had them drain their 401ks because it's like, dude, this isn't doing anything for you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you want a dividend every quarter and appreciation? It's like, what if you have better appreciation than your 401k, no taxes, and a dividend check?
Yeah, a tax benefit.
It's like, what?
This is way better.
What are we doing here? It's crazy, honestly.
It's absolutely crazy. And like, okay, I might be tangenting a little bit, but just bear with me.
Yeah.
Did you see the YouTube video of the pastor? This is no joke. 5 months ago, this is on YouTube right now. 5 months ago, these four pastors decided am I saying that right?
Pastors? Like we believe
like ecclesiastical leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these four guys get on and they start the video, the YouTube video is about the solstice stuff. What are sorry, I'm drawing a blank for a second.
Like the summer solstice? Like
the eclipses.
Yeah,
the solar eclipses. Yeah. So these guys get on and talk about the symbolism from the solar eclipses. And this guy, I'm no joke, he gets on and he's just like, this is 5 months ago, you can watch it. He's like, yeah, I had these visions. I started having these dreams and these visions. And he's like, I saw this happen. I saw this happen. I'm not even kidding. He's like, and then he's like, I saw Trump. Someone tried to assassinate Trump. And then I saw the bullet went so close to his ear, blew his eardrum. And he literally pointed to the exact ear that Trump got shot at and said he was going to get assassinated. He saw a vision that he was going to get assassinated and that he barely missed him. It got so close, hit his ear. And then right after that, you gotta look this up. This is crazy. This is legit. It's still online. It says he has this dream that Trump is gonna get assassinated, hits his ear, and then right after that, he says Trump's gonna win. And he's gonna win. And he's they have a planned stock market crash.
And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. Great economy crash.
Raising worries the economy may be headed for a recession, and the Fed could have waited too long to start cutting interest rates.
Soon, like they have something planned, the crash as soon, like when he gets in office. So like in the first, I don't know, first quarter, first year.
What?
He says like they're going to have like the stock market's going to crash.
I mean,
so I'm like, dude, like you got, it's just like, okay, he got that right. And I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty freaking crazy. Like it's hard to believe. Like part of me is like, hey, this is like not
if
true.
you're listening, get out of the stock market.
But you just made me like think of the 401k. It's like, okay, now is a chance to short the market if you could time it. But
well,
he could be true about one thing and not about another thing. But it's just like, that's how crazy it is. Like that, your 401k, your stock's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Your whole retirement could be gone. You could be on a fixed income. You just retired. And then it could just get wiped out because of something externally random. Now, it can happen in real estate too, right? It can happen. But
well, to some extent.
To an extent. Like what we happened in 08. But
stocks can go away.
I still would rather probably be holding the land or the real estate.
At the end of the day, if everything hits the fan and it's without rule of law, we can take Uncle Rob's guns to our storage facility and use it as a base. You can't use stocks as a base. So
I can't store supplies in my stock.
If a storage facility is worth nothing, dollars wise, because there's no money, it's just we're just trading eggs for cheese and bullets, and you have your stocks. You can't bunker down in a stock. You only can bunker down in a storage facility, dude.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
So it's always worth more, even in a crash where
even if everything's gone,
even with the dollar's worth nothing, land is gonna be worth something because it's actually tangible.
Right.
Good digress. I like that.
That was a horrible tangent. I'm sorry. Everybody.
I could see the stock market having some trouble after the election. We'll see. Some big volatility.
Hey, if it happens, it's like I went on.
You heard it here first.
I went on the record before it actually happened.
What if it doesn't?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Good. I hope it doesn't. If it doesn't, then no one's gonna get hurt. Because guess who gets hurt? All the people, all your teachers, and everyone that's retired. Like that biggest, like the baby boomers, like that demographic's way more populated than everyone before, right? There's more of them that are supposed to be in that retirement-esque age. So it'll have a ripple effect if that does happen. But you can always bounce back, right?
Yeah. Then
hey, it's an opportunity to make money.
Don't get me started.
If it does happen, it's like go short the market.
Well,
I've been thinking about that, like, okay, this is not investment advice or anything. I don't know. I probably can't. Probably not even allowed to say that, but it's like if I knew the exact timing, it's like you would
the Big Short.
You would short the market.
Well,
and make a ton of money off the crash.
Yeah. Maybe you could do it. We'll see. But I was gonna say this is kind of another digress, and we can rope it back in. If 401ks and IRAs and whatever else they do, if that all goes to nothing, you're going to have older people staying in the workforce for potentially years past what they should. And that's going to be crazy for the labor market because labor will go down in price, right? Like it's going to hurt the old people because they can't retire. It's going to hurt the young people because they're competing for jobs with these guys, right? So it's like, the person that's supposed to retire and give them a spot is going to stick around longer, right? And so
if they physically can,
who does it help? Employers. This is like
the slave drivers.
I can already see that like wages, like jobs are not being offered for as high ridiculous prices as they were in like 2021. Like jobs are harder to come by, especially high paying jobs, right?
Yeah.
So like now don't get me wrong. Anyone in this country could find a job if they're a respectable person. There's someone that wants to hire you.
Yeah.
As long as you're a hard worker. But like, I'm talking about like people, like there was a period of time there during the boom where people could just hop to one job and collect the bonus and hop to another job and collect the bonus.
Oh, this is like the COVID boom.
Like the COVID boom.
Yeah, the employee.
That's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So.
Yeah, and in certain industries, it could change. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they're seeing so many people retiring from like accounting or preparing to retire from accounting, and so few people getting in to accounting that we've had even publicly, and I can't even verify this. This is what he said, and I haven't actually checked, but he said that there are publicly traded companies that have disclosed, like, we don't know if our books are correct because we don't have the manpower to
do them,
do them. And
wow.
And so, yeah, in some industries, there's like these gaps which provide incredible opportunities.
Dude.
But some of these gaps will get filled with technology.
What are people, yes, technology will fill the gaps. What are people getting into? Because I feel like that's the same thing in service businesses. Like you talked about accountants retiring, like service businesses, landscapers, movers, like, dude, that's there for the taking. Like anyone out there who, wants to start a service business, it's like, there's people who they can't find anyone to buy their business. They're just retiring and letting it dissolve.
Yeah.
So I don't know what people are going into these days, but it's not services. It's not, there's plenty of blue collar opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see some real numbers on what people want to get into. Like, I just think that, you see a lot of people wanting to like be influencers or like YouTubers or like, you know what I mean? Like that's like, I just barely thinking of this. You know how like growing up, it was like, you saw, them land on the moon, and like people are like astronaut,
Yes.
firefighter. Like I feel like today, in a way, we see a lot more kids being like YouTuber, influencer.
But here's the crazy thing about that. That's not even oversaturated. Like
There's gaps in the market.
YouTubers and influencers, I don't even think, like, yes, obviously it's competitive if you're the same type of influencer as all these other people, right? Like, man, to be a beauty influencer, that'd be crazy. But like, I think there's room for creators, and I hate using that word, dude, but like, it's just the new world we live in. Creators, like, as much as I think it's like a new weird way to make money, I think that's not oversaturated yet. I think there's plenty of demand for more video, more content, more creators.
Well, and frankly, I think, now that I think about it, it's like, it's not easy. It's really, really hard to do. And because of that, no matter how many people dream of being like a content creator or like a YouTuber or anything like that, like, that barrier of actually being successful is pretty high. Like I feel like it's really, really difficult that you're going to wean a ton of people out of doing it anyways.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a weird thought on it, but it's like, it's hard. It's like anyone can do it. So like the barrier to entry and like equipment and be able to post is low. Anyone can do that, but to actually build a following, and that's a lot of work, and to keep it and maintain it.
Yeah. No, it's work. Like
it's work.
I was on a call.
Free.
Who was on a call with yesterday? That guy on the mastermind call.
DBF?
Yeah, DBF. He said, dude, this guy, I'm embarrassed. I don't remember his name.
He's going to watch this and realize you can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Because that's how much you care about him.
Micah goes the extra mile. He'll cut this. You know what I'm saying?
Or she cuts my stuff.
Go back and cut all the stuff from Callan's bloopers. Ryan Fisher, dude. This guy, he's like a professional CrossFitter. Now he's making buku bucks off an app, right? He makes all his money. He has
a fitness app?
Yeah. Very little team. It's mostly just him and a few contractors. He said he spends 70-80% of his time making content. That's his full-time job. Like, this dude's like a real dude, which we should maybe talk about some of the gems from that episode. Really instructive. He knows the Hormozis. My point is like, it's work. I'm not dismissing the work. I'm bullish on this because, you know, the sad thing is, if you looked at the total amount of hours or minutes that people spend on devices today and how terrible it is, guess what? you're going to see our society spending a higher percentage of their time on devices next year than this year.
It's going to go up.
It's an addiction and it's a cycle. And it's like, it might be a while before people really snap out of it and realize I'm losing so much of my life on my phone. Right? I think people are just going to spend more, and your population grows, your hours spent looking at your phone grows, and your vacuum for content grows too. There's just going to keep growing, and it's more countries. Like there's going to be people in more countries getting this technology that can just scroll reels every day that right now they might not have it. And some of these third world countries, like, don't get me started. It's a crazy rabbit hole.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think those are pretty good points about content. And to be honest, some content that people are producing is very, very good. I mean, think about the lives that have been changed by people providing these like value that just never existed before. We have because of just the system, people are giving away information for free. This used to be like safeguarded, no one knew about it kind of thing. It's like educators and people publicly like freely giving nuggets and education and like content are getting rewarded.
Big education should be peeing their pants right now because college is so pointless. Like we've learned more from our coaching calls about storage than I ever learned in college.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
paying that over like a tuition is way, way, way valuable.
And right now it's kind of taboo. There's still people alive that don't believe that. But guess what? Those people will die and will be the old people, and the whole society will know like education is transferred through online stuff now.
Wow.
Like college will become more niche, it will become obsolete for the people like business majors. It's like, dude, just go find a guy who's crushing it in business and have him mentor you instead of going to college.
Yeah. Unless the universities adapt and change.
They better. I mean,
because they could adapt and change.
We can't lose college football. That would be the whole sin in this whole thing, is if college football doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because college is going down if they don't adjust really fast.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of collegiate sports. But you could have collegiate sports still and no schools behind it.
It's true. You could have a mastermind and each mastermind gets a sports team. Oh man.
Well, now that you can make like a ton of money playing like
NIL, dude.
I know NIL is amazing.
And what if like all these big, like what if Grant Cardone put together an NIL football team and played Hormozy's football team?
We would watch it.
Instead of Bama, Georgia, is like Hormozy Cardone. And they each have like these business schools that people come to, or like they just participate online. But each one has like, it's like, oh, and they have like Alabama versus Hormozy.
Dude, I think you're onto something. This is crazy.
You're in, right, Micah? You're in? It's like Bama Hormozy. Let's go.
Crazy.
The Rose Bowl, dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think it could end up there.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a couple more gems and then we can wrap this? We'll cut this.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. So this guy.
This is like went from real estate podcast to like.
It's a podcast.
It was really fun.
Live with it. We're the hosts. So a couple of things he said. First of all, he knew Hormozy when he had like 4,000 followers. Like he knew the old Hormozy.
Wouldn't that be amazing to be at the point where it's like people who knew you, it's like, he's like, I'm an original follower from like when he was only 4,000, like on Hormozy's side, but like on the other side, like I followed this guy from the beginning.
Well, he's like yacked. Like he's like a world champ CrossFitter. Oh,
this is Ryan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So he's like, he obviously has an in, because it's like, obviously one of the only things Hormozy respects is like being jacked, probably, right? He's like, if you pay attention to Hormozy, he's not happy to be making content. He's just talking, he's just talking. He even seems upset and annoyed sometimes. Like he's never smiling, like rarely. Like he's just making content because that's like his job. And then he's like, I would not trade he's like, I'm not trade lives with him. He doesn't have very many close friends at all. He's not happy. Like Like he just works all day. Like he has terrible balance. He's just hustling. Like, you know, like he's
Terrible balance? What do you mean?
He's a terrible
balance in
work-life
life. I'm thinking like he like can barely walk.
He's like, dude, I would not trade lives with him ever, right? But he's like, you know, he was talking to Hormozy one day, and Hormozy just like straight up asked him like, how much you make? And he's like, 50 grand a month. And he thought that was like really cool. He's like, and then Hormozy like, I'm like, that's okay. Like, okay, little boy. He's like, how much you make? Like, I guess I should be asking you how much you make now. He's like, I make $2 million a month. You know, and he's just like, he left that and just his mind was like so expanded. He's like, my mindset shifted. And I was like, well, what shifted besides like your marketing, your mindset? He's like, my confidence. Like, I left knowing like I could do so much more. One other thing he said that was really good, and this was specifically helpful for me. He said, you don't have to be the best at something to sell something. So in other words, I'm not the world thought leader in storage investing or service businesses, but I have something to give and to sell to other people because we do have something special here and something that would be valuable to someone to go replicate or adopt certain practices that we do. So it's like, give yourself permission to teach and sell and speak and produce before you're top world class, right? Like I truly believe that our moving and storage business is world class. We don't have to be the gold medalist. Like we can still just be world class and sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really like that. One of the last things is, everyone was talking about teams and putting together teams, and you know, it sucks so bad to train someone and then they leave and stuff like that. And he was like, you know, so basically the question is like, do you train someone and like maybe pay them a little less and then you like work them up to it, or do you overpay for the speed? Mm-hmm. And he's like, here's all I know. And this is what Layla Hormozy said, which to be honest, I didn't know that Layla Hormozy was really knew much about business, but now I know she does. So Layla said to him, you'll never regret. No, she said, it's better to build someone up and have them leave than to not build someone up and have them stay. Basically saying like abundance mindset. Like if you build someone up and they leave and you lose money on that, it's better than if you just didn't build someone up. You just kind of let them suffer and like be mediocre because you're fearful about ever losing them. Right? So obviously it's best if you can build people up and find ways to keep them on your team and keep growing together. But it's way better to build people up and have them leave than to have a team that's not growing.
Wow. What an amazing principle. Like, I love that. It's just, that's like feels so good to hear because again, it's like, you don't have to regret if you help change someone's life. Like if you help them get on a path and they're going to be better and successful and hopefully they can do it in your own company. Like hopefully they can reach their goals and achieve their potential. But if not, like looking at how like you made a difference in their lives and how they are going to go on, like looking at it as a good thing instead of looking at it as a negative thing. What a powerful ability.
It was powerful. And
Hormozy was on the call at DBF yesterday?
No.
This is Ryan talking about Hormozy.
Yeah, Ryan, who he's tight with Hormozy. Yeah.
That's cool.
But, you know, the principle is sound. I believe it. And we had performance reviews last night for our moving company. And we did performance reviews till like 10:30, dude. But
no way.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a long day. But I told everyone something similar, and I truly believe this. It's like, I believe I'm a race against the clock to build out something big enough to keep everybody. Like, I know we're building something big enough to fit everybody's dreams inside of it, and everyone can have a piece and carve out wealth, right? Mm-hmm. It's just about time. And so I try to be really upfront with people and say like, look, if this is just a stepping stone for you and you're going to move on to something bigger and better, great, but you have to understand I am trying as fast as I can to keep growing so that you can keep growing proportionately, right? And I think that's really the idea behind it is some people it's a race. You can't grow fast enough to satisfy their needs. Other people, you can grow fast enough and they can grow with you. And it's a very fruitful relationship for both sides. That's the idea.
Love it.
This was a great.
That was awesome. This was fun.
Just titled the episode Real Estate Principles with Tangent.
Do you want to talk about, we can cut this, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but do you want to talk about August? I mean, that exact thing happened, and it's not like there's negative in it.
You mean Jackson and August?
Yeah, you record? You want to record this?
Yeah.
You're live?
Yeah, we're live.
You're Facebook Live?
Well,
Oh, we need to do Instagram Live for
we
all
do
these
need
episodes
to
next time.
get that set up.
It's okay. It's okay. So, Micah, our beautiful young producer, he just brought up that our last two video
He's
guys.
on the market too, guys.
No, he's not, dude.
Oh, right.
Delete this. delete this number.
What's his tag? Have everyone look up his Instagram.
So,
Michael JLE.
all right, I see what you guys are trying to
On
do
Instagram.
here. Cut.
Okay.
You can't talk about the Baron. Can't talk about the museum. I did want to share.
Sorry, go.
I'll share a real life
Reach out,
experience.
DM Michael if you want.
I'll shout a real life experience.
Date.
Our last two video guys, we let them pivot because they grew so much here with us that they found greener pastures, and God bless them. I actually love them both, right?
Same.
I have serious bonding moments with both of them. But, now we're going to carve out something. We're going to carve out a piece big enough for Micah to stay long term.
But if he does pivot, it's for the best. It's good for him.
If he does pivot, that's strike three. If you poach Micah, I'll come into your place of business with a bomb strapped to my chest and get him back. I'm sick of losing video people.
Don't actually post that.
Okay, let's do intros. Then we gotta go.
Okay, we gotta go quick.
So do you want an intro? I'll do an intro for the business one first.
All right.
And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.